What's up, everyone? How are we doing tonight? Are you guys ready for a live stream? Let me pull up the chat. Jacob Daniels, welcome to the show. It's good to have you here. Bravo, good to see you here as well. Pop that out. And shrink it down so I can see it. Awesome. All right. Well, as promised, a lot of people have been asking for me to do this live stream now for some time. So here it is, per popular request. We are doing another testing user-submitted builds live stream on the channel. This has been probably the highest requested thing that I do on the channel at any given point. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go to the Integrated Space Systems Discord, and I'm going to go through all of the crafts that you guys have been sharing with me there. And I'm going to start with some of the older ones. Not going to be able to do them all tonight. At most, I'll probably be able to do like 10 to a dozen maybe. I wish I could do them all, but it just takes so long to do a single craft and give it justice. I can't do them all. So we're going to start with, let's see, I'm trying to think, what was the last one that was like submitted recently that I had a chance to view? It was this one right here. This one. Okay, so I think, okay, that one. Let's go with this. I think this is the first craft that was submitted since the last live stream. We're going to go with this one. And this is by Nomad Reds, who is in the ISS Discord. He goes by Jonathan Winters, usually on YouTube. He is one of the paying members of the channel, so he is a big fan of mine, and I'm a big fan of his. And this is his craft, the Eagle 6. Eagle 6 Series 4. Right off the bat, it looks really nice. No payload, it seems. That doesn't, yeah, looks like there's no payload on this. But a very nice looking small launch vehicle, so we're going to go ahead and give this thing a go. Hello, High Patch. Welcome to the stream. Activate Windows is here. Oh, and it's too late for High Patch to stick around, but that's okay. Thanks for the view. Hope you have a good night. Excalibur, it's good to see you here. I got your post as well. I saw it earlier today. Mr. Foxy, welcome to the live stream. It's good to have you here. I haven't seen you in the recent one. Hold on, we're going to relaunch. We don't want to do it from the runway. We want to do it from the launch pad. Let's start at the launch pad proper. Once it loads, here we go. All right. Is there an activation group here? If I type 1, what does that do? Okay. There were no instructions on the post. I'm going to assume that it's manually flown. So with it being manually flown, we'll go ahead and launch it off, and we're going. Relatively low thrust-to-weight ratio. Well, 1.5 is not a bad thrust-to-weight ratio off the start of the pad. Go ahead and start pitching over. Yeah, looks good. I love the detail work. I love the color scheme. The high contrast, like white and black, top and bottom, is really cool looking. It's got really small engines. How much are these producing? What kind of engines are these? 372, 374 kilonewtons. That's a delta. That looks like a delta nozzle shrunk all the way down. That's very interesting. Yeah, it kind of gives me Electron vibes too. All right, let's point it, prograde, switch to our orbital frame of reference. See how she gets, whoa, into orbit. She is having some, that was maybe too much, hold on. That was probably too much of a control jerk there, and we threw it out of control. My bad. I believe that was my bad. That was too much of a pitch over for the rocket to handle. We're going to relaunch that. And lock. Burn vertically for a second. Pitch over. And point prograde the rest of the way up. That should be a lot smoother. All right. She's doing good. I love the look. It looks really good. Yeah, this is a solid entry. So this is the Eagle 6. This one was posted a while ago. On when was this posted? Let me pull up when this was posted. Got to scroll up quite a bit here while that's flying in the background. January 22nd, so a little over a month ago. Yeah, it is a solid entry, and I really do like it. We're going to go ahead and switch it over to orbit. Now, we'll get it into orbit, and then we will go ahead and switch over to the next craft. It's a little high of an orbit. Let's flatten her out. It looks like we've got a hot stage here, because I see the engines lighting, and I don't see a stage separation. So that's definitely going to be a hot stage. Okay, light our engine. Separate. I definitely is that supposed to come off? Uh-oh. Inner stage. Maybe if I destroy the part. I just destroyed. Oh, so there's like a plate or something. Hold on. Destroy this. Oh, no. Oh, it was doing so good up until then. All right, well, we're flying now. We're flying now. We're doing good. We're going to pitch up a little bit before we fall out of orbit here. No, pitch up, sorry. All right, 300 kilometers. That's a good place to start. Lock, prograde in orbit. We had a little bit of a debris like hang on there, failure to interstage properly, but we had some secondary explosives ready to separate the tank in an emergency, and they succeeded. And so we have successfully separated our stage. The last second maybe, but we were still able to get it out there. There's also a self-destruct function, which I am tempted to activate. Maybe once we get into orbit, we'll self-destruct this, since it was a kind of botched orbital insertion here. There's also, I guess you have to manually stage the fairing. That's fine. All right, let's see if the self-destruct works. It's activated. I'm not seeing anything. Hold on. Maybe I have to do command first, then self-destruct. Or maybe it was like something the last stage you had to do. Thrust section. All right, well, that's in orbit. It's very pretty. A couple of little glitches, a couple little bugs here with it. Nothing crazy. Is there a... Hold on, what was that, like, smoke? You guys see that? What is that? Oh, interesting. Does he have like a... Hold on, can I zoom? Can I scroll in? He's got a... It looks like he's got like an RCS thruster in there. Like an adjustable one that's making like this really big engine plume. Anyway, that's very interesting. All right, let's undo and exit and pull up the next craft. I'm going to skip ahead to... Let's see. We'll do this one. Broman did his rover. We could test out Broman's rover. I saw that being posted around. All right, so this was February 16th. Broman posted a very interesting rover design. He posted it on SRC and here. Some of you may have already seen this, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a test because I think it's interesting and want to try it. Yeah, very anticlimactic self-destruct there. It didn't explode, unfortunately, but that's okay. That's okay. It's just in a graveyard orbit now. All right, let's see if we can figure out how this works. So we've got the steer bar up here. That's great. What? Okay. Activation groups. What turns the engines on here? Broman, are you in the live stream? If you're here, tell me how your rover works. Are these controlled by a slider? It's because it's an electric motor, right? It's got to be an electric motor. Where's the electric motor? Is it hiding somewhere in here? Yes, there it is. It's like the pitch does something. Hold on. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to the editor. I'm actually going to figure out. Be gentle with the turning. Use the sliders. Okay, so it is the sliders. I want to look. Just look myself and see what control group you assign to it. Slider 1. All right. Yes, this rover is entirely. There's no wheel part. It's all just struts, it looks like. Struts and electric motors. All right, so we're going to do this again. Now that I think I know what I'm doing here. Slider 1, if I put that forward. Front wheels, back wheels. Aha! We are mobile, although I don't think we have the turn radius here. But you know what? This drivetrain is kind of specifically designed for adverse terrain. Yes, the wheel design is very, very interesting to watch. So here we go. We're going nicely. That's awesome. I really like this. I like this a lot. Using the slider is a good control instead of the throttle, which I think most of like the wheels default to the throttles, but it makes sense if you're using the electric motors, it would default to slider 1. Let's time warp forward because it's just taking a minute. I want to see it handle some bumpy terrain. Let's have it go over this little lip right here. Look at that. So the whole thing rotates. It's very interesting. It's a very cool rover. You can find it on my channel's craft section, or you can find it in the SRC or on the Simple Rockets 2 website. It's been posted to all of those places. Next up, we're going to test out. This is by Sided Ace, and it is his F-15 fighting, not Fighting Falcon. That's the F-16. This is the F-15 Strike Eagle, which I believe if it's the Strike Eagle, then it's the F-15A variant. This isn't a Navy jet, so I don't know everything about it. But let's take a look at it. It is immediately, one thing we can tell immediately is the attention to detail is immaculate. I mean, this is really a really well done clone of the F-15. One of America's best and oldest jets to still be in service. This is a very, very true to life replica. Let's see how it performs on the flight pad. And I made a mistake. I didn't change my launch location, so it's going to be on the actual launch pad, not the runway, which is fine. We'll just have to relaunch from the runway. My bad. Relaunch from. We'll do runway 13 this time. I never launch from runway 13. Got to launch from runway 13 more often. It doesn't get the love and attention it deserves. All right, so we are on the runway with this thing, and it is gorgeous. Let's go ahead, throttle up, activate the engines. I don't need you, and I don't need you. Go away. I'm yawing quite a bit right away. That's fine. I always expect there to be some sort of quirks with really complex builds like these. And we'll go ahead and get off the ground, and it flies very well. Does he have custom landing gear on this or not? Landing gear up. He does, it looks like. Yeah, that looks like custom landing gear. Very well executed custom landing gear. Very beautiful. Let's see what we've got. We've got landing lights. I don't need flaps. We're in air. Can turn my anti-collision lights on. I've got a left and right engine. Those are good to have. I have activation group 7. I don't know what that does, but it's activation group 7. Is this our warhead pod or something? I don't know what that is. And then activation group 8, the actual landing gear activation group doesn't do anything, but it is flyable. It is actually very easy to fly. It pitches up a little bit, but that is nothing that the trim tab can't handle. So if I go over here to pitch and just give myself a little positive pitch bias, and then what is going on? Hold on. Have I done something wrong here? The ailerons are freaking out. That's the infrared camera, of course. All right, we're experiencing some weird flight anomalies here in the transonic flight region. I'm gonna go ahead and throttle up, see if I can get supersonic in this. We were at, I think, just under supersonic speed. But yeah, as we approach 343 meters per second, we're having these weird oscillations. Coming up, 340, 341. This is transonic supersonic. We are now Mach 1 and above. Yeah, and we're having some more weird flight oscillations with these. I can't remember the name for it. It's the type of control surface where the whole control surface oscillates, not just a portion of the control surface. This isn't on autopilot. Yeah, autopilot's disabled, right? Lock, unlock. Yeah, it's just doing that. But it's very pretty, and it flies pretty well, except for if you're going a little too fast, then it stops flying well for a minute. But I like it. I like it a lot. I like the F-15 a lot as an actual plane, and seeing it replicated like this so dutifully is really fun to watch. So if you liked that one, you can see it on my crafts channel as well. It is available for download. Next up, we have by GamerX, we have the Titan 3E rocket, which I'm going to go ahead and paste the link to in game while we're waiting for that to load. Stabilators, thank you, Cited. Transonic is terrible. It keeps having issues working on a fix for that. Yes, noticed. Well, the good news is that we have confirmed it not only flutters on yours, but on mine as well. So it's not just your computer freaking out. There's actually something that needs to be fixed. But anyway, so we have the Titan 3E by GamerX. Now, this is also a replica build by GamerX. It is extremely true to life, very well executed, beautiful build. I mean, this is all done very, very well. So let's look here. We've got our, as I was recently informed, this is the side rockets right here, and then this big red fuel tank is, I forget what they called it. It has to do with the actual control of the boosters, because the boosters can't be gimballed, so that has to do with controlling the boosters. And then we have over here, if we zoom in, you'll notice this is actually all paneled to allow for hot staging. These vents allow for gas to escape for a hot stage, which is, I mean, a truly high level of effort being put in here. Like, all this ribbing is custom done. It's very well done. Looks very, very true to the actual Titan. The words are a little funky here, but other than that, it is quite well done. So let's go ahead and put it on the launch pad. The main launch pad, there we go. Yes, it does. It looks very good. It will probably tank my computer, but it does look very detailed. It is a very detailed craft. And as all detailed builds like these do, they just kill your GPU. This one doesn't look too bad. No, that's a notable drop right there. Just in the controls, that is a noticeable drop. But we are running. It's pretty clear he's running the Kelly auto launch script, which is a kind of standard for Visi auto launch scripts in game now. So Kelly auto launch script, I don't have to. I can do fully hands off on this. We'll watch it launch, lift off on its own. Thrust weight ratio barely getting off the pad, 1.16 here. Lawrence, welcome to the live stream. Good to see you here. We have almost 10,000 newtons of thrust, and just barely getting off the launch pad. We are starting to accelerate now. Pretty well. Are these engines activated? Have they lit yet? No, they have not. Are they supposed to? I'm gonna assume that the craft was built to be flown as is, so I'm not gonna touch it. But we're gonna watch this fly. I'm gonna time warp speed forward a little bit. All right, we got to watch the side boosters separate. Those rockets are spinning them out of the way, and our main engines have lit. Beautiful. So now we have a thrust to weight ratio of, again, just over 1, so we're barely accelerating to the sky. This thing does not want to get off the ground. I would say, I don't know what the actual Titan 3E's thrust to weight ratio was. Actually, while we're watching this launch, I'm going to do a little research here. What was the Titan 3's launch thrust to weight ratio at the pad? We're going to find out while this thing gets itself into orbit. Titan. Let's see. E launch TWR. Titan 3 launch TWR, otherwise known as the Centaur. Let's look at Wikipedia, what Wikipedia has to say. It has a KSP size fairing. It really does. And the payload, there is no payload on this, but it does have the second stage here. Waiting for circularization. Let's look at the stats. Capacity, mass, wrong stats. Powered by, maximum thrust. Third stage, fourth stage. Okay, it doesn't look like Wikipedia has it. Does anyone know? All right, I'm tasking you all to research what the Titan 3's or the Centaur launch vehicle's thrust to weight ratio was. Anyway, while we're researching that, let's look at the detail here on these. We've got beautiful domes set up here, and these spheres are pretty easy to make. You've got a nose cone, a fuel tank, and another nose cone, and they add a good deal of detail with very little effort. All three of those, very well done there. What we have here, we've got a external tank. I love the reflective, like, shininess of these struts on the sides here. It makes for this beautiful reflective light looking there. Here's what we can do. How much thrust did the Titan 3's engines produce? How much thrust was in the first stage? Specific impulse, maximum thrust. Maximum thrust was 5,339 kilonewtons, so 10,600 kilonewtons. What was the mass of the whole craft? Let's see. Mass. Give me mass. Nope. Mass, 632,970 kilograms. Let me find a calculator real quick while we continue to watch this flight. Handy dandy graphing calculator, which I'm going to use for a far simpler equation here. 632,970 divided by 10,000 kilonewtons. So it does 1,000 to that. Oops, nope, hold on. Forgot the parentheses. Insert a parenthesis there. It had a thrust to weight ratio of 2.09. Okay, so the thrust to weight ratio is a little inaccurate. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. That's what I should be getting, about a 2.0 thrust to weight ratio. That sounds about right for 632,000 kilograms. All right, so we are almost in orbit here, almost in the desired orbit. There we are. We are in orbit. Very well done. It looks good. It's a little underperforming from the real deal, which makes sense because I don't think GamerX spent as much time looking at the specs and performance and was really just working on a visual replica. So he did a very good job making a visual replica. a maybe C- job on the actual performance of the rocket, but A+ for the beauty. It was a well done rocket. So kudos to him, GamerX. You can find that as well on the ISS Discord Crafts channel. We're going to go through and look at a couple of others. I've done one from Broman and cited Ace already, and there are a ton from them on this channel. So I'm going to wait once. Let me see if I can grab. It's like the same planes. It's the same planes from the same people over and over again. All right, we're skipping ahead. March 7th. This was released yesterday by Jacob Daniel on the channel. And if I remember correctly, this is actually, I'm pretty sure he took an old build of mine and revamped it, or maybe this was a different one, but he took kind of the design that I had done for an old build and put his own twist on it. So this is his H2A-204 heavy launch vehicle, and we're going to go ahead and test it out on the launch pad once it loads. Once it loads. Come on. Come on, there we go. All right, so we're on the launch pad here. No auto launch script that I can tell. Oh, no. Oh, I was wrong. There's an auto launch, although I think he mentioned that was a different one I was thinking of. I think it was. I remember you posted this, and we were talking about that relatively close in time. So it makes sense I wouldn't be getting my wires crossed there. Anyway, this is a very interesting, very good-looking original design. This is not a replica. I always like looking at original designs like these, so these are fun for me to watch. We are pitching over hard. Now, I remember, if I remember correctly, that, Jacob, you were saying the auto launch script on this is a little iffy and might not be able to get us into orbit. So if that becomes the case, I will go ahead and take the reins. I think we're going to be fine, though. GN6, should I submit something for next time? You can submit something for this time. If anyone wants to submit a craft for this live stream, all you have to do is go to my Discord. If you're not there, get there. You can find a link in the description to this video to the Discord, and you can submit a craft into the crafts channel. You have to agree to the rules in the rules channel before you're allowed to post. If you're not there already, if you are there already, go ahead and post a craft you'd like me to see, and if I have time to it, I will try to get to it. We're going in order from old to new, but we've covered a lot of crafts pretty quickly, so I think we should actually be able to get to more than I said before. I skipped over a lot of planes that cited Ace and Broman and GamerX and 2 Energy posted, because it's like there was like 10 planes by the same 3 people. So I'm going to skip theirs for a while to make sure I at least want to do one from every person, and then if we have time, we'll go back and do some of the other posts as well. Our side boosters have separated. Our fairing has separated a little earlier than I would have, but it doesn't look too bad. It gets you through the boring part of the launch, but doesn't get you in orbit. Gotcha. Okay, so it gets you, if I time warp here, it'll get me out of atmosphere, but not quite circularized. That's fine. I can do the circularization bit myself at the end. Actually, what I'm going to do is pitch down. We'll let this put us a little high. Yeah, we'll do a higher orbit on this one. All right. Actually, I'm going to pitch way down. There we go. All right, so we are out. And our second station has been deployed. Look at that. That is a very, very well done second stage. I love the use of these extra monopropellant tanks on the strut structure here. Very well done. Inner stage and an inlet there. No wasted parts. That whole thing is only 2 parts for the structure there. Very well done. Jacob Daniels, this is actually your submission for the low part count competition, if I'm correct, right? This is your sub 250 build. I will wait for your response in the chat while I continue to fly it for you. It does look quite interesting. I like the muted, like the cactus green color pattern, the palette. I like that a lot. I think that's a color that is a little ugly on its own and not used very common, but when used tastefully and in the right place, looks very good. It's very unique, yes. All right, we are in a high orbit. Go ahead and time warp around. Very, very well executed craft. I do like the look a lot. I believe this is submitted into the competition. Yes, he said it was. Awesome. Well, we will see how it performs against the other submissions in the very near future. I think we're doing the judging for that competition this Saturday. Myself, GN6, and Sentinel Aerospace are going to be doing the judging this weekend. So your last chance to submit is Saturday. If you have not joined that competition, you should. It will be a good time. And let's move on to the next craft. So we've got, this is by Nova Aerospace. It's the Avalonia dsiv, and it looks like an interplanetary, interstellar ship, like a near futurism ship, I'd like to call it. Very interesting engine design back here. Let's take a look at this. So the first thing, first thing I notice immediately looking at this is, as I move my cursor over the engine, this giant ion engine appears here. How strange. Let's see what this engine can do. Yes, 7,500,000% thrust. That sounds about right. So that's what a lot of people will do, is have these ion engines which produce a crazy amount of thrust that are XML or tinkered. And then I see we have just a regular engine here. There we go. Regular engine providing the main source of thrust. We have this very interesting, I love this radiation shield. Whoops, and I accidentally just took it off the craft. That's my fault, my bad. I love this radiation shield. If okay, high part count. Oh no. Oh no. High part count detected. Oh no. Not to mention, it's a high part count coupled with the engine exhaust. Really, really does it. Do I have a orbital launch location? That is the question. Yes, this is my play around sandbox. I do have a 300-kilometer Drew orbit. We will launch from there. Okay. Nova's. I was thinking it'd be the Titan Centaur that would push it, but apparently this thing has a higher part count because it is pushing my machine a little bit here. Once it's loaded, it's fine. Like here we are. It's running fine. Yeah, big frame rate drop here. Okay, it's not terrible. It's definitely playable, but it's notable. All right, so this is just looking at it, very, very well executed. I love the radiation shield. I love the translucent part of the radiation shield. I'm trying to figure out what texture you did to get this. Okay, so this is the white part is one part, and then these struts are their own parts. That makes sense. Man, wow, that is interesting looking. All right, so here we have the rotating wings now in a little bit better light. So these are the HAB modules. These look nice as well. We've got radiators here that are already extended. Let's see if there's any control groups here. We've got our chemical engine, our ion engines. We've got like our drive section back here. Let's get to lunar orbit. Or actually, yeah, no, let's get to lunar orbit. That's TT. Where's Luna? There's Luna. Okay, we're going to get to Luna orbit here. But the way we're going to get to Luna orbit is I'm going to point at Luna directly, and we're going to take the express route to Luna here. Ion engines ignite. Not a lot of thrust with the ion engines. Oh, wait, hold on. Did you... Maybe that's not as tinkered as I thought it was. But that's fine. We will... let me turn the chemical engine off. And we're just going to point at the moon. Alright, so we are in fact moving, but we're not moving quite the right direction here. So this was not as powerful of an ion engine as I was anticipating, unfortunately, but that's okay. It is okay because it's powerful enough. that we should still be able to get an intercept. Have we not gotten... Are we too low? Oh, that's the issue. We're too low. Hold on. We're going to point it up. Point it up. Oh, not only are we too low, I'm stupid. All right, this... Not only are we too low, we're also going too slow, and the moon's moving, and I forgot that crucial detail about orbital mechanics here. Here we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now that we're paying attention to what we're doing, we're flying towards the moon now. And we're captured by the moon. So it does have the power to do a direct, basically a direct burn to the moon. You just have to burn the engines a little longer, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and put us in lunar orbit now. Throttle up our engines. And we'll time warp for expediency. The beauty of the ion engine is the ability to time warp. And there we go. We're on a collision course. Because I time warped for too long, I wasn't paying attention. That's fine. What do you guys say? We watch this thing crash into the surface of the moon as hard as we can? I think that's a fair shake. Let's turn up our ambient light so we can see it. Apply. Close. There we go. Here we come into the surface, watching this beautiful piece of engineering fall towards the ground. 8,000 meters and closing to the surface of the moon. Here we go, in for collision. 7,000, 6,000. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to slow time down to a quarter speed because we're moving at 1,000 meters per second. That's a crash. That's a crash if I've ever seen one. Oh boy. I'm going to move the camera over there so we can observe the rest of the debris as it spins across the surface, the lunar surface. Can I crank this up anymore? There we go. Now we can see it moving. Woohoo! Look at all that junk. It's like a cloud of debris. It's almost in orbit over the surface. Not quite. Oh, I think we might have moved out of physics range, but now we're just watching the pieces fly. They're no longer colliding. Yeah, no longer colliding with the surface. That's a big F for Nova's craft. It's okay, though. It flew well. It is a beautiful build. So if you want to check his out, that's also on the same place. I'm not going to keep saying it because you should all know where it is right now. Next up, we're going to do one by Galactic User. The Proton M. So this is a Russian launch vehicle. We'll give his a look here. Paste that into the game. I expected it pretty much. It was not totally killing the computer, but it was making the computer work, let me tell you. That was very intensive on my GPU. Oh, we're in orbit. And the launch countdown's already going. Let's go back down to the ground here and launch from the surface, because that makes more sense for this rocket. Can you hear that whistling? If I drink from this, can you hear the whistle of the little air hole here? I hear it very loudly. There's like a little hole that lets the air flow out of the cup as you drink, and it whistles every time I drink from it, like very noticeably if it's quiet. All right, we are in the air. Now, the Proton, if I remember correctly, is a hypergolic fueled craft, and these, I believe, are running Keralox. Yeah, this is Keralox in the fuel tanks right now. Methalox, sorry, there's Methalox in these fuel tanks, which I don't know if that's maybe a mistake here. Keralox boosters. That's very interesting. Yeah, that's maybe not supposed to be like that. Also, we seem to have lost control of our second stage for some reason, which is no bueno, and I don't know why. While we're flailing out of control, though, let's go ahead and take a look at it. It is very well done, very beautiful. I like the attempt at the Cyrillic alphabet here. That's a good attempt. The Russian flag sitting there. You can barely even see the white. Excuse me. You can barely see the white in the Russian flag. We've also got these solid rocket motors, I believe, are for staging. Let's watch them stage here. Yep, that's for staging, all right. Proton upper stage, we've got these little separator motors as well. And then the main engine looks good. Separate the fairings. Let's see what his payload is. It's a Russian satellite, unsurprisingly. We'll separate the satellite payload. Well, okay, now we'll separate the satellite payload. Okay, so we've had some. We're gonna relaunch this. I wonder if I did something wrong, or if maybe I just assumed it was a autopilot and it wasn't an autopilot. But it's very good looking, and he says it's a Proton 1:1 scale. See a couple interesting quirks of it. Okay, yeah. So he's not. It throttled up, but it didn't actually set a heading for it. That makes more sense. Now it should launch much smoother. We'll go ahead, lock it prograde. Watch those little RCS engines fire. There we go. Second stage ignition. Much nicer, much nicer. We're flying away now. We're going up. Very, very well done here. Like the shiny look. And I can't time warp any faster than this, but we're almost in orbit now. Actually going to hold my pitch up a little bit. I want to keep my time to apoapsis increasing till about 2 minutes. So we're at 70, 73. We'll throttle down 2 minutes. There we go. Whoops. And I just warped past my bird, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and pitch up the nose of our rocket. Let's manually separate the fairing base. Very good, very good. Everything is looking good here. All right. We'll get this sucker into orbit, and then we will call it good. All right, we're in orbit. Let's go ahead and stage that guy away. And let's just activate the stage to see it in space. That's fine. And the payload's away, and we've got our little fourth stage. That's what we were missing in the last one. There is a little maneuvering stage here. Very nicely done. All right, so that was by Galactic User. Yes, Galactic User submitted that one. Very well done. He submitted a couple others. I'm going to do that one for now. We'll skip over him and look at a couple others. We have a Chinese user. It looks... I'm going to guess that this guy is Chinese because he has Chinese characters for his username, and he built a Long March. So I'm going to guess that with the preponderance of evidence, he himself is Chinese, or at least a huge fan of the Chinese people. So we're going to do his Long March build. Check this guy out. The most painful thing about rocket building is when the second stage doesn't have enough thrust to weight ratio to keep its prograde up. That can be a challenge. Yes, it definitely can be. This is the Long March 2C, which is the Chinese launch vehicle. And I make finding the details harder, and I believe that's from Broman BG6368. Yes, detailing a rocket can be very difficult. It's very time-consuming, and it's one of those your return versus your effort quickly diminishes. So here we go. Thrust weight ratio of 1.26 off the pad. We've already pitched over just a little bit, which is fine. We're going to go ahead and accelerate upwards. I'm going to lock prograde now. We're in a pretty steep angle. Maybe hold that just a little bit longer. It's got a low thrust weight ratio. Okay, now we'll let it go. Follow the prograde vector. It is a very shiny rocket. Yes, very shiny. It's very well done. I love the Chinese script. The attention to detail here is very nice. Very good. Our apoapsis is out of the orbit now. Go ahead and detach our second stage and get us into orbit. So it looks like we've got, just a test payload. This is a 4-ton test payload. I don't know much about the Chinese rocket engines. Just never been a huge fan of Chinese rockets. They're a smaller sector in space right now, but these rocket engines do look really good. I love the attention to detail. I love the thrust work here. Very well done. All right, let's lock prograde and circularize our orbit, then we'll move on. Ignite our engine here. Looking good, looking good. And we'll kill it a couple of seconds to circularize. I'll give it a little bit more time. 700, 800 kilometers, 900 kilometers. Kill it, circularized. Beautiful. Let it do a pass. Yes, that is a very well done rocket. Very pleased with it. All right, save and exit. Moving on. So we've got from Ferret, the Zarya rocket, and he said it's very detailed. By the way, one of the best crafts I've ever built. So let's see what he has for us from Ferret. It loaded faster than Nova's, so it's not as detailed as Nova's, thankfully. Oh, there we go. Very interesting. Okay, I love the OD military green here. That's a very fun color. And again, don't see that kind of dull green a lot, but I like it here. I like the application. I like the color scheme. I like the hot stage here. That is a very good use of an inner stage for a hot stage like that. Looking just at the second stage here, very nicely done with this rocket engine being like fully cowled here. Very nice. I'm going to undo that. We'll go back to the launch. Oh, if it'll... There we go. Okay. We had a not responding come across the screen for a second, but it's good. It's good. All right. Got this thing on the launch pad now. Let's give it a go. And this is by Ferret. It is the Zarya rocket. Let's give it a launch. If it'll load. There we go. Yes, this is a pretty detailed rocket. This probably has the same level of detail as Gamer X's Titan Centaur. So let's make sure. Okay, there's no auto launch script, so I'm going to go ahead and lock the heading myself. 90 degrees. And throttle up. Let's see this thing get off the launch pad. We've got a thrust to weight ratio of 1.8, so that's a much higher thrust to weight ratio off the launch pad. It's flying good. We'll go ahead and do our pitch over. Since we have such a high thrust weight ratio already at 2, I'm going to throttle back a little bit, and we'll start our gravity turn a little earlier. We are gunning it into space right now. All right, now I'm going to follow my prograde vector from here on out. Really got to throttle down. I am thrusting a little too hard. My gravity turn, I'm going too hard. My gravity turn can't keep up. That's basically what's happening here. All right, so side boosters are separated. Throttle up to bring our core stage thrust weight ratio back up. And then I'm just going to pitch over and let this thing carry on. All right, we'll pitch all the way over so we're burning horizontal. Interstage. Nope, don't want to do the interstage. I want to do the fairing. Fairing. Fairing separation. We are out of the atmosphere. Beautiful. And this is going very nicely. Let's take a look at the upper stage. Very, very good level of detail here. I like the use of the insulation texture here. It's a very tasteful use of it. This little ridge here that gives it a little like 3D sense. Kind of some smaller fuel tanks here used for the lines. Very well done. Very well done. That level of detail is very, very good. Very high level of fidelity with the design. All right, first stage separated away. Now we have our upper stage here. We've got a couple of maneuvering thrusters, if I had to guess. Yep, those are our maneuvering thrusters. And we'll lock prograde for that. Let it fly prograde. Let's get it up. Let's get it to a higher orbit. We'll push this guy out a ways. All right, 4,000 kilometers. Apoapsis. Let's circularize our orbit now. Boom. All right, we are in a fairly circular orbit. What's our eccentricity? Less than 0.1. We're good. Very well done. Ferret, that is a beautiful rocket you've built. If you want to download it, same place as all the other ones, you can find it on the Discord channel. Very well done. All right, let's look ahead. That was Ferret. We've done one by Nova already. We do have one by Lawrence, the JL Aerospace Hermes 1. We'll give this one a test drive. Scoot the chat over. There we go. All right, so first thing I noticed right off the bat is we have some SpaceX Falcon 9 style grid fins. Those are always fun to see. Second thing I noticed, and this is a less flattering thing, is that the text on this rocket is like clearly hanging off because unfortunately yeah, the curvature setting is a little funky sometimes. Let's see if I can. Nope. Yeah, it's like, why would the middle go first? Okay, never mind. Anyway, so we can't curve the text unfortunately when it's in that orientation, so it's going to look like that. We're using the old style of landing legs, which is fine. They can work adequately sometimes. Got just a test weight payload. All right, let's give it a go. Novus Aerospace, my Avalonia has more than double the parts on GamerX's Titan 3E. I would bet, because my my computer felt the double parts. Let's turn down the ambient light. That's a little too much. I usually don't like ambient light. I like no ambient light. So I just have it on right now so we can see the rockets better at night if we're looking at them at night. Throttle up. And we're going to pitch over. I'm going to turn RCS off. We've got a decent thrust weight ratio coming up on 2.0 now off the pad. We'll carry on at this, and then we'll pitch over a little bit more as we go. And lock prograde. All right, so now we are flying. Looking good so far. I do like the design a lot. The text could probably be shrunk down just a bit because it looks a little goofy as it is right now, but I do like the design a lot. And it's performing well. This is flying very well. What are we at now? Okay, we're getting some weird screen glitches. Hold on. In the map mode, but that's fine. It's only epilepsy, guys. Don't worry. If you have epilepsy, you probably should be on the stream. What I assume to be lightning rods are far too close. I believe they are water towers, actually. They're designed... I believe what they're designed to do is spray the launch pad with water during launches so that it doesn't destroy the launch pad. Because basically, all launch pads will have sound suppression systems, which is essentially just fire hoses pouring water. And it helps to ablate some of the sound. The water gets refracted by the sound. So I believe those are water towers for the sound suppression system. I think that's my headcanon for what those are. The unknown, no offense, the fairing is a little bit stubby. Well, the fairing's gone right now, but I actually think it's fine. We can go back to the builder and look at it. Fairings are like a proper aerodynamic shape. There's a couple of different like competing theories on what the shape should be for fairings, but they don't need to be as pointy as people think they do to actually have good aerodynamic properties. So that fairing was probably actually a pretty accurate, like, efficient fairing. Excuse me, shape-wise. Yeah, okay, so we're in orbit. I believe that separates the payload. Yep, payload is separated and away. This is a nice launch vehicle. Not as detailed as the last one that I just forgot the name of. The Zarya rocket. Not as detailed as the Zarya rocket, but still very respectable build. Very nice. Lower part count, which means my computer doesn't want to kill itself every time I load it, which is nice. Let's take a look at the fairing. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that fairing. That's a fairly decent ratio, and curve. It's a little like you could add more parts maybe to smooth it out. Like I would add maybe one more layer right there where my mouse is to kind of smooth that dome out, but it looks fine. I don't see anything wrong with that. Yeah, it's a good build. Let's move on now. We've got Fair. We've done one from Broman. We've done one from Lawrence. Galactic HD has posted one, so we'll go ahead and grab his and throw that up there. All right, so this is the Electron. I think this is supposed to be a 1-to-1 scale Electron rocket, which is the small sat launcher from Rocket Lab. Very interesting with the rocket layout on the first stage there. Looks very good. So let's go ahead and get this out to the launch pad, test it out. Excalibur, I don't think they're lightning rods. Even if they were, it's not that bad, as they would need to be close to the rocket anyway. Yeah, so they could be. Let's actually take a look at it now we're here. They could be lightning rods. Yeah, I guess they could totally be lightning rods. Yeah, so for a lightning rod to work, it has to be close to the launch pad. And, like, you can have structures near the launch pad. Oh, okay, here we go. There's the water tower. So, yeah, that's the water tower. These are definitely lightning rods, and I would guess that these tanks here are the fuel tanks for the rockets. But, yeah, a lightning rod would be pretty ineffective if it weren't super close to the launch pad. So that makes sense that they would be there. Our Electron is off the ground. And we've got a high thrust weight ratio with this guy already, so I'm going to pitch over pretty aggressively. These are Pixie engines. I think they are basic Pixie engines too, because it should be an electric staged motor. CTS-FO, how long is the stream going to be for? Probably for another 20 to 30 minutes. I'm going to do a couple more crafts, and then we'll move on to something else, and then we'll close the stream out. Uh-oh. Hold on. Cancel and relaunch. Something just exploded, and I think I know what it was. We're going to relaunch the craft here. Something blew up. Has way too much thrust to weight ratio. Yes, it does, and I think I know why. Throttle up. Throttle up. There we go. Lock. No, they're at 100%. Did my engines overheat? I feel like my engine's overheated. Why are my engines overheating? They're taking damage. What the heck? Huh. Yeah, they're taking damage. They're going to break here. And I want to know why. 90, 91. Are they too clipped? Is that what it is? Okay, now they're not taking damage anymore. That's weird. They weren't overheating. The temperature of the engine was only like 36 degrees. Yeah, no, they weren't overheating. But that one's like really damaged. Okay, we're also... Our trajectory is terrible because I was too busy dealing with the engines. Let's get her into space here. There we go. Separate the fairing. All right, this is kind of a night side of the planet launch. Super steep, not efficient. Pedro has confirmed they are lightning rods. There we go. We have a dev confirming it. Pedro, maybe you can help explain what was going on with those engines there. Since you're a guru with new features in this update, was that a bug that we were seeing? I'm going to relaunch this. Now that I know Pedro's on the stream, I'm going to relaunch that and see what he thinks about this. Oh, they're too underexpanded. Of course. Of course. Let's launch it again and take a look. Yeah, they are. And that explains why they stopped taking damage too. They're too underexpanded. All right, so what is underexpansion? Underexpansion is when the atmospheric pressure exceeds the pressure inside your bell and your combustion chamber, right? And so what's happening is the gas is coming out of the bell, right? It's coming out of the bell, and as it comes out of the bell, we can observe the effect right here. The atmosphere is squeezing the gas as it comes out. It's squeezing it and compressing it, and it compresses it because it's coming out, and then it compresses it from the atmosphere and it comes in, and that's what creates that shock diamond effect. Is you're watching it come in, and then as it comes in, it gets compressed too much, expands, and then it creates these shock diamonds. That's that phenomenon right there. Well, if you are overexpanded, if you're too underexpanded, then what happens is um, the gas kind of gets pushed off the edge of the bell, and it kind of pulls away from the bell. Or sorry, too overexpanded, not underexpanded. Um, yes, too overexpanded, and what that does is it basically damages the bell. So that's what's happening right there. And if we let that launch at full throttle, our damage counter goes up and it explodes. Yep. Yeah, wait, I thought that was overexpanded. Hold on. Now I'm confused because I was saying one thing and then I was corrected, but everyone else is saying the other thing. Time to Google it and see which one is which. Over expansion versus under expansion. Look at us. We're doing some research. Oh, oh, come on, computer. You can do this. End flight. Undo and exit. Come on. Over expanded versus under expanded. There we go. Trying not to crash my computer. Fingers crossed. Okay, here we go. If the pressure of the exhaust leaving the nozzle is still above ambient pressure, then the nozzle is said to be underexpanded. Okay, yeah. So expansion, whenever we're talking about expansion in fluid dynamics, that means we're reducing the pressure by expanding the volume that a fluid is flowing through using Bernoulli's law. So in an underexpanded situation, that means that you have not expanded, you've not reduced the pressure enough, you have not reduced the pressure sufficiently for the flow to be uniform. So in an underexpanded rocket engine, let's just demonstrate this really quickly, what underexpansion looks like before we move on to our next rocket that we're actually testing. We're just going to take the stock rocket and we're going to go to 300-kilometer orbit. So under expansion, if you have not expanded enough, then there's still too much pressure that hasn't been expanded yet, and that looks like this. So under expansion, the exhaust gets to the end of the nozzle, and then it's still high pressure, so it expands out. That's under expanded. Now over expanded, relaunch from the launch pad. Over expanded, the nozzle has expanded it too much. The nozzle has gone too large. I'm trying to really dumb this down without actually writing out Bernoulli's law here. Because it's overexpanded, you have reduced the pressure of your rocket fuel or your rocket exhaust too much, and the outside pressure is greater than your rocket exhaust, and so it causes those shock diamonds. That's overexpanded. So that's basically it. We're gonna go undo and exit now. The Electron rocket was beautiful. If I didn't say that earlier, anyway. Let me remind myself who submitted that. That was Galactic HD. Very well done, very well executed Electron. Liked it a lot. The nozzles need to be tweaked a little bit. That wasn't an issue in an older update, but I'm pretty sure he built that rocket before the new update came out. So that would explain why it's a little off. Excalibur, I think we've done one from Excalibur already. So I'm going to skip that for now. And then I think everything past that are all the new ones. Yes, these are all new ones. A lot of new submissions to this. I'm going to grab two more. I said GN6 I would do yours. I'm going to do GN6's next of the new ones. Let's launch this guy. Just looking at it in Designer, very well executed already. It looks really good. This is the Fahrenheit 1A. FH1A. Yeah, it looks really good. Freight. Yeah. Free height. Did you? I'm dyslexic, so this is hard to read. Freiheit. Freiheit. I don't know if that's a typo or another language. Freiheit. It almost looks like freight. My mind keeps saying freight every time I read that. All right, let's give this a go. German. Okay. What is it German for? That makes more sense. I figured it was a different language. It definitely looked German. That's a very German sounding word. Let's go ahead and throttle up and get it on a launch trajectory while GN6 tells us what it's supposed to be. Oh, I should probably detach the... I was wondering why I had such a bad thrust-to-weight ratio, but we do have the launch pad still attached to our rockets. That's probably why. Now we're accelerating. Let's go ahead and lock prograde there. Got a methalock stage here. I like the detail here. Freedom. Oh, it's very nice. A very nice sentiment. It's a good... That's one of those good words to have on rockets. Freedom. Yeah, we're looking good so far. This is a pretty standard launch. Go ahead and swap over to the orbital frame of reference. Start circularizing early. Pick the nose up a little bit. Separate. Second stage is deployed. Fairings are deployed. Looking good. And let's take a look at these details on the bottom of the second stage. You know what these monopropellant tanks? I believe these are These monopropellant tanks remind me a lot of the Mystery Goo science experiment in Kerbal Space Program. That's just kind of the visual I'm getting from those. That's what it looks like to me. That looks good. We're going. We'll put this one in a low orbit. Throttle up. And she's in orbit. We'll go ahead, time warps to the day side of the planet so we can actually look at it. Very nicely done. Very pretty, very simple. Simple, elegant, very kind of modern look to it. Nope, not undo. Save and exit. There we go. All right, we'll do one more. So we've got one from DASX here. I haven't done one from DASX. There's an aircraft carrier, which I would do, except it's probably going to kill me, and it's probably going to kill my ship, and that's a boat, and this is a rocket game, so we're not going to do that one. Modded nuclear single stage to orbit by activate window. Let's do this one from activate windows. Modded nuclear SSTO. That sounds pretty interesting. Oh, we need stock engine overhaul. Cancel. It's a good thing I have that installed. We're going to go ahead and enable the mod very quickly. Let's see. Mods. Stock engine overhaul. Enable. I accept. Paste it now. And it loads. Much better. Here we go. Downloading the craft. Let's see what we've got here. Ooh, okay, so I like the level of detail put into the launch stand itself. Looks really good. However, just as a note, one, I like the shape. This actually does look pretty good overall. I think this is a pretty good design. So one thing, though, that people should just be aware of is there's a big negative stigma around the simple texture when it's used like that. So I'm going to turn the texture off on these big parts here. Oh, did you hear the whistle that time when I drank from my water bottle? Yeah, it's pretty loud. All right, so I've turned the simple texture off. That very, very simple, very easy thing you could do. The simple texture just looks a little tacky unless you tweak it. Like one thing you can do the simple texture, but then do like 12 by 12. So it's got like a really high level of tiling. But we're just going to turn it off for now and go with the design like that. And launch it. Yeah, this water bottle likes to whistle for some reason, and it's very loud and noticeable. Minimize you. All right, here we go. We're rocking a bit. All right, is this going to... fall over is the question. It's not going to fall over. Ignite the engines. Separate it. Okay, we haven't launched yet. We're not off the ground yet. I'm going to lock heading. Thrust to weight ratio is increasing. Oh yeah, we got a long throttle time with these nuclear engines. Oh, we've bumped into the launch structure. This would be a failed launch. Come on, what is going on here? Come on. Okay, there we go. There we go. Nope, we're too overexpanded, and it exploded. All right, so this again, this wouldn't have been an issue in the old update, but the new update, you actually have to design your engines to not explode. Bummer. I use simple texture for my USS Essex planked deck. Well, that would be cool, but because it's a boat, it's irrelevant. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm getting rid of all of this. We're just going to have the rocket. Just the rocket. None of the extra stuff. Just the rocket. Let's try that again. So what those the problem with the nuclear engines in stock engine overhaul, it's not even a problem. Like I like the nuclear engines a lot in stock engine overhaul, but they tend to have a long throttle time. So we've got 5. These are gas core, I want to say. 5 gas core nuclear engines. One of them's much larger than the others, and they're using the nuclear engine regenerative throttles. So our throttle's very slowly coming up. It's going to take it a minute. Lock heading. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Are my... Oh, gyroscopes aren't on. Oh. Hold on. Relaunch. Since you don't like water boats, do you dabble in space boats, space warships? I should clarify. I like ships. I'm in the Navy. I love ships. This is a rocket game. Space warships. Yes, I did see that you had posted one, Sighted Ace. I will give that a go before... Whoops. I just deployed my parachutes on accident. Gyroscope is what I want on. Landing gear. Oh, there's wheeled landing gear. That's nice. Good to know. All right, let's lock heading, throttle up, and engage. And we'll just time warp through the throttle up procedure here. There we go. We're off the ground now. We are finally off the ground now. And Stellar Suborbital, welcome to the live stream. Did you just buy a membership, dude? Hell yeah. Oh, and we exploded again. Shoot, I forgot we're still overexpanded. No! We're still overexpanded. All right, that is an actual engineering challenge. Okay, so activate Windows. I'm sure that this actually works really well. I'm sure it does. I'm running the new experimental update, and with that, because the it's just because of the engines, man. So we're having some issues with it. I bet this actually works really well, and I'd like to try it. Maybe if I uninstalled the game and reinstalled the old version of the game, it'd work a little better. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that it isn't working well, but hey, I really appreciate you submitting it. I think it's a good design, and it's definitely worth continuing to work on and make better. Stellar Suborbital, welcome to the live stream and welcome to the channel. I'm gonna check. Did you just buy a membership? If so, that's awesome. Thank you so much for joining. If you're on the Discord, I will hook you up with the appropriate roles so you get access to all the special perks you just purchased. Okay, let's grab... Sighted Ace made a comment to me about space boats, so I will oblige him. Oh, actually, hold on. No. I'm going to do something else instead. I remember a conversation we had like last week. I was going to try to fly his helicopter. And I just remembered that we had this conversation. So here is Sighted Ace's Ranger helicopter. And it's a... I can't remember the technical term here. Is the limit for engines that explode 30% under expanded? I don't know. I don't know what the limit is. That would be a question for Pedro or one of the developers. I don't know. Stellar Suborbital, yes, I did. Been trying to get membership for a while, but Google Play kept screwing me over. Finally got things sorted out. I know how that feels. I appreciate the membership. I haven't used Discord in a while, but I'll probably get it again later. That would be my advice, because you get access to all the perks with Discord. All right, let's try this out from Sighted Ace. Let's turn my anti-collision light on. That's important. We'll turn my spotlight on. That's less important, but still important. Okay, engines are on and going. I don't know what activation group 10 does, but I do know that this thing needs the sliders. Intermeshed rotor system, that's right. All right, let's figure out what the sliders do. So slider 1 doesn't do anything. Throttle. Pitch. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Hold on. Do I have to have activation group 10 on for the sliders to work? Nothing. Hold on. Is it using these sliders? If I do up. Sighted. Help. I don't know how to fly your helicopter. It looks really pretty, but I don't know how to fly it. Okay, I know how to roll. Yeah, this rotor design would make me nervous. It makes me nervous right now. What am I doing? Should have looked at the instruction manual first, huh? Is my physics set to max? That's a good question. Quality physics. Medium, high physics distance. Ultra? If by max you mean ultra, part lift forces are on. Throttles are for the collective. Okay, apply, close. Ah, there we go. All right, so throttle for the collective. We've throttled up. All right, we're flying. We're flying, y'all. I'm flying this helicopter. So the collective changes the angle of attack on the blades, which changes the amount of lift they generate. So by increasing your collective, or pulling up, basically, you pull up and cause the blades to pull up. So let's go all the way here. All right, I'm going to pitch hard over so we start developing some forward momentum here. Much better. All right, is there any other controls I need to know about? What is okay, A and D just yaws like you would expect. All right, it's slow, but it flies. We're going 40 meters per second now, which is not terrible. I'm going to add a little positive pitch input here, just to fight the. It has a tendency to nose up. There we go. That's a little better. All right, we're flying nicely. Let's see if I can land it. I don't think I can land this. I have not flown a helicopter ever in a video games or otherwise. So, well, in realistic video games or otherwise. I did fly a Huey flight simulator at a Marine Corps airbase once, and I crashed badly. And I also flew the Osprey simulator and crashed badly. So my record for landings with helicopters is suboptimal. Let's try killing my velocity. All right, that's good. Too much positive pitch. Too much positive pitch. Mayday, mayday. Come on, put my landing gear down. Nope. All right, well, the good news is probably could have survived that. Probably could have survived that crash. All right, that's a cool build. I like that one a lot. You've built a couple other helicopters. I'm gonna have to fly some of those around and test them out. Are there any others? Okay, hold on. We'll do one by DasX here. The Gemini. You have to spawn it in orbit. It's just the capsule. Okay. So let's paste this guy in. And take a look at this capsule. Or maybe, if it's just the capsule, we don't even have to fly it. We can just look at it. Is it just the external capsule? Yes, it is. Although, in zooming in here, I see two little cameras So it looks like you've got two little cameras that look out of these slots here, which is very nice. Very nice. I like it. I've seen the actual Gemini capsule in person at the National Air and Space Museum, and from what I remember, this is very true to life, very accurate. Uh, Tons and tons of parts. Let's look at the part count real quick. List all 605 parts for this capsule, which is lower than I expected, but still a lot. It's enough to make my computer want to cry when I have this list open. If I have the list closed, it's not so bad. The landing couldn't be better. I beg to differ. I think the landing could have been better. All right, so that's a cool capsule. I'm not going to fly it because it's just a capsule, but that's very cool. All right, I hope you guys like this stream. I always try testing out as many of your submissions as possible. I love seeing what you guys are working on and building. It's a ton of fun for me. So if you want to see your rocket in the next testing your builds live stream, post it in the crafts channel of the ISS Discord. If you're not on Discord, you should get on Discord. You can access me. You can talk to me. You can talk to other members of the channel. Hang out. We've got a bunch of community competitions. We have a community system we do on the channel. It's a lot of fun. So if you're not there, get there, be a part of the community, and hang out with us. We have a ton of fun there. I appreciate everyone for coming into this live stream tonight. It was a blast as always, and I hope you guys all have a good rest of your night. As far as videos go, I'm going to be doing a Q&A video this week, and then I'm working pretty much putting all my energy towards this one big project. For the foreseeable future, I'm trying to get it out as soon as possible. It's the one that I have been working on with a couple other people. And it's been a lot bigger of an undertaking than I thought it would be. We're getting pretty close to the end now. We've recorded everything, we've built everything. Now it's just like editing the videos together and making sure they work and going through, like the first draft going into the second draft. And it's a lot. So we're working on that right now. I'm very excited to show it to you guys. I think it will be a big game changer. I think you guys will really like it when you see it. So I'm excited for that. I hope you guys all have a wonderful night. I will see you in the next video, and I want you all to take care. Keep working on your skills, keep building rockets, keep experimenting, and you know what? We'll see you in the next live stream. So take care.